Hello, my good people, SMT Nation. What is going on? I hope you guys are having a great day. I'm here at the Cleveland Metro Parks Mills Creek Reservation. And to give you a view of the area, there's a picnic area over here. There's different sets of picnic tables and volleyball courts and park recreational areas. The river is back there behind those wooded segments of the park. And there's traffic going through here. There's a lot of ongoers and such, people walking, jogging. So I wanted to do some testing to see how this type of area is served here in the CLE by the major carriers. So what we're going to do is we're going to test AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile on the same device. We're going to test each network's 5G and their version of LTE as well. So we'll start with AT&T, and we're going to start with the 5G portion of the testing. Then we'll move over to LTE. This particular line of access is on an eSIM. This is actually Los Mobile, powered by the Death Star. All right, so just to let you know what type of priority we got going on there. And I think that's pretty much it for this line that you need to know. All right, so we got a ping time of 27 milliseconds. We got some jitter there of 20 milliseconds. I don't see any other issues with the test. 76 megs on the down, 20 megs on the up, and we have 0 packet loss. That's always good. So that's the 5G side. That's DSS. We're probably DSSing band 2 in this case. They don't have N5 here. Verizon does actually, and they DSS that. So let's go ahead and switch over to LTE. All right, so there's your LTE switch. It jumped into 5GE, which is advanced LTE. All right, and let's go ahead and run this one and see if it's any different. We got 70 by 20 on the 5G test. Now, traditionally, historically, we've seen better speed tests at a 5GE than the DSS 5G, and this test appears to be pretty much in line with that. All right, so just as a time, as a reference of time, it's 11 a.m., so late morning here, and we're seeing exactly what I kind of predicted there. 28 millisecond ping, a little bit of jitter, about 1 millisecond, 141 megabits per second on the down, and about 11.5 megabits per second on the uplink. Let's go ahead and speed test the fast.com. I know a lot of people, prefer that type of test, so let's go ahead and do that. I do think that this is probably the best line of access I have. I really do enjoy AT&T's network access. It's really good, especially on Los Mobile. It's great. All right, let's go to show more here and see what's going on. Downlink speed looks pretty good, 120 megabits per second on the down. And I actually forgot to run the fast.com on the 5G, so I'll go back and do that. 20 millisecond on the uplink. Oh no, 25 megabits per second on the uplink. Latency is at 20 millisecond. Connecting to a Chicago server, looks like. Okay, all right, let's switch back. And fast.com, the 5G, you'll see I just switched it in there. Keep it on the up and up. I usually just test Ookla, but some people have been asking me to do fast.com, so I'll do that for you guys. No problem. Yeah, that 5G is a lot better in this testing. Usually is, most of the time. I'm not sure if I can even remember a time where the 5G was noticeably better than the 5G. All right, so there you go. On the 5G side, on the fast.com, we're in the 50s megabits per second on the downlink. Something's up with the latency here. Okay, there it goes, kicked in, 18 milliseconds. So that's pretty similar to what we saw with the 5GE LTE. Then the uplink, there you go, about the same as the 5G as well. So if you got an iPhone or you got a Samsung and you're able to control your connections, in this case the LTE 5G a little bit better than the 5G DSS, dynamic spectrum sharing. Let's move over to Verizon. All right, so we got the Verizon all set up. It looks like we do have some 5G. This one also a DSS test. This will be on N5, a shared band, allowing for spectrum to be shared amongst LTE and 5G. So let's go ahead and test it. This will be N5, dynamic spectrum sharing. Verizon 5G. They call this nationwide 5G, this rendition or flavor of 5G. An ongoing problem in the 5G marketing scheme. Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of you kind of know how to navigate these waters, but not everybody does. The common person, the average user, consumer, they don't really care, don't really know the differences between ultra wideband and DSS and 5G plus and 5GE and 5G ultra capacity and 5G extended range. It's crazy, right? All right, 36 millisecond ping. We got a lot of jitter at 68 millisecond. That's terrible. No packet loss. On the downlink, 34 megs, and on the uplink, a very anemic 0.48 megabits per second. Let's go ahead and switch over to the LT side and see if it's any different. All right, so we've gone from the 5G on setting to the LTE. And let's go ahead and speed test that. Oh, I forgot to do the fast.com. I'll make sure I go back and do it. I'm for dropping the ball here. I should be doing better than this. Oh my goodness, what is happening here? This is unusual. I usually don't see this. Usually the LT is faster than the 5G. We'll try to find some answers here. Jitter's better. All right, 28 millisecond ping. Much less jitter than the 5G test, 4.6 millisecond, but the downlink speed really bad, 3.64 megabits per second. I mean, you'll be able to use, what you got to do. I don't know about high definition video. You got 2.81 megabits uplink, so that's kind of low too. So this is not a good test. But the uplink is better than the 5G test. So depending on what you were doing, you might need to switch between 5G and LTE on Verizon. Let's go ahead and fast.com it and see what we get there. And I'm going to go back and test the 5G on fast.com. Come on. There we go. Huh. Interesting. Maybe that Ookla speed test was just a little bit off. Something was wrong about it. Because now we're in the 20s. And that's more similar to the first test on 5G on the Ookla. So we'll go back and test that and see what happens there. 23 megabits per second on the downlink. Got a 23 millisecond latency. And then the uplink, around 6-7 megabits per second. Okay, interesting. Let's go back to the speed test, the Ookla, and see if we get anything different here. Maybe it's just a momentary thing. It's very possible. Interesting. Guess it was kind of like a momentary test. Maybe a moment of deprio. I don't know. This is the Verizon 05 unlimited plan, the truly unlimited one. So 24 millisecond ping, 4.6 millisecond jitter, 32 down, and we got about 4 megabits per second on the uplink, and that's the LTE. Let me go back to the 5G DSS and test the fast.com actually. All right, so there 5G on, and then we're gonna go to fast.com just because I forgot to do it. There shouldn't be much of a difference between this version of 5G, the DSS, and the LTE. So, I mean, we're not seeing anything great out of either of these connections. This is a very average speed testing. I mean, it holds up okay, right? But nothing spectacular about it. All right, so the last one we're going to be testing is going to be T-Mobile as this one finishes. So you've seen the AT&T, 5G and LTE, fast.com and Ookla. You've seen the Verizon, 5G and LTE, fast.com and Ookla. Let's do the same thing for T-Mobile now. I'm going to go ahead and switch the SIMs. We'll take a look at how it does. We got the LT ready for T-Mobile, so let's go ahead and do that. Hey, if you're enjoying this testing, go ahead and hit that like button. Let me know by doing that and dropping me some comments on the testing thus far. All right, so T-Mobile LTE got a ping time of 28 milliseconds. We do have a little bit of jitter, 2.8 milliseconds. For the downlink, looks pretty good, pretty respectable. We got about 48.4 megabits per second on the down and 26.5 megabits per second on the up. And that's pretty good. I don't see any issues with that. Very nice. Better uplink than both the other carriers, and the downlink is just fine. All right, let's go over to the fast.com. run a speed test. This is Magenta Business. So we'll go ahead and speed test it on fast.com and see what happens here. All right, good stuff. We got a little bit of a speed boost here at the beginning of the test. And usually what happens is it throttles down to like 1 or 2 megabits per second by the end of the test. So if you're thinking about switching to T-Mobile and getting a Magenta line, not the Magenta Max, this is kind of what you can expect. Some people tell me they can get 1080p. Some people tell me 720p. I know that the plan is, you know, for 480p. That's what they offer. All right, so on the fast.com, 2.4 megabits per second on the downlink. We've got 19 millisecond latency. And then the uplink, we're up into the 20s. All right, so that's very similar. So they're not throttling uplink, but they are throttling the downlink because of the video situation. Fast.com Netflix servers. Okay, there you got it. Let's go ahead and switch over to the 5G side and see if there's any type of difference there between LTE and 5G. All right, 5G on. Let's see if they've got some 5G here. Still in LTE. There we go. We got some 5G. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be the, you know, extended range band 71, or if it's going to be the ultra capacity N41. We shall see. Having trouble connecting here. I've been having this happen quite a bit. Just connecting to these servers and testing on T-Mobile's 5G has been a nightmare. All right, we connected to a Detroit, Michigan, Wayne State University server. Yeah, it's struggling. It's having a hard time. I really thought there might have been some N41 out here. Thought there was. We'll run a couple of tests. All right, ping time is 43 millisecond. The jitter, wow. Can't say that I've seen that before. That's really high. 920 millisecond. And the connection does not look stable. It's just like paused. 9.37 on the uplink, I guess. I don't know. It's like stuck. Okay. Well, there it is. Let's go ahead and run another one because that test was atrocious. I didn't see any packet loss though. And this is, wow. Everything's still pretty high. We got a ping time of 41 milliseconds, a jitter of 170. The downlink's even lower on this test. This is a pretty bad performing speed test. 5.4 on the downlink, and it's really erratic. What is going on with the uplink here? It's like freezing. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. I've been having a lot of problems with the T-Mobile 5G lately. It's been really bad. Having trouble connected, staying connected. I mean, 5.4 down and almost 7 megabits up. This is just not good networking here. I have no idea what's going on there. We'll see if we can run one more test and see what happens. I don't know, I would say that I'm surprised if this was the first time it happened, but it's not. This happens frequently. You guys saw my hospital testing video. None of the 5G was working properly. This might be a situation where you might want to turn your 5G off if you're on T-Mobile, especially in the Cleveland market. It's just not dependable here. I mean, could you imagine spending $1,000 on like a 5G phone, T-Mobile sells you on it, you start using it and you're having trouble with connections? That'd be rough, man. You'd be better off with an LTE phone. 10.2 down, 5 up, 39 millisecond ping, and then we got some jitter at 23 milliseconds. We'll run a fast.com and see what's going on there. I mean, shouldn't be any different though. Okay. All right, we got the proverbial boost of speed there. And then the throttle for Magenta. 1 megabit per second there. All right, guys and gals, go ahead and comment down below what you thought of the testing. Tell me about the AT&T testing, what you thought. Verizon, the T-Mobile struggles with 5G continue. the unreliability, the lack of dependability. What do you think of the testing setting here? This Metro Parks. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Go ahead and drop me a line down below in the comment section. You guys are the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you all in the next one. Peace. Thank you for taking this opportunity to watch the SMT YouTube channel. If you appreciated this video, give it a like and a share to all your favorite social media platforms. Thank you in advance for that. Also, check out some of the links in the description box. We have the SMT Patreon page. We also have the Twitter handle at SneedTech. And do check out the audio-only podcast available on all the major podcast platforms. And if you are new, have not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and activate the bell notification icon so you never miss an upload from the SMT. We'll catch you on the next video. Peace.